Hello, everybody. Hopefully you can see me. Hopefully you can hear me. We're going to be checking that. Would you like to?
I can smell you.
Yeah, you can. Yeah, I smell of chocolate. Today we're going to be doing some baking. We're going to be some cooking, aren't we? We're going to be using hot things, aren't we, as well as cold things. We're going to be doing some mixing, and we're also well, that's working.
That's working. We're doing some
cooking, aren't we? We're going to be. Yeah, so we're going to be doing that. We're also going to be doing some story time and a bit of singing. And you can dance if you want to. I don't know really.
Yeah, you can dance if you want to. So we're making something.
You can dance if you want to. You can leave your cares behind.
You can leave your cares behind. So today we're going to be doing a very chocolatey recipe, because next time we meet up will be the 19th, when we will be in Lent. So we're really looking for some suggestions for next time, when we would like to do something that is savoury but also gluten-free. We've had a request from one or two people they'd like a savoury gluten-free recipe. So rack your brains and let us know what if you know any savoury gluten-free recipes. We don't have any, do we?
We don't really do savoury, do we? Apart from
we don't do gluten-free either.
No, but it would be good because we've got.
We're not ticking any boxes.
No, we're not ticking any boxes, but we've got one or two people who'd like to do something different. So I've just checked the time. We've got a few minutes before 10. So we've had to start early today because I've had a diary mix-up and forgot that I was in a meeting from 11 till 2. We've all got out and got ready bright and breezy, haven't we?
Yes, I'm free all the time.
Yeah. And
not all the time, in the case people want me to do things. I'm too busy for that.
No, and Caleb opened a box of tissues, and what did it? A box of tissues? He's literally just opened this box of tissues.
And it told me to, you can't read it, it'll be backwards, but it says, take the day off, which is what I'm planning to do afterwards, which is lovely.
Yeah.
It's your take the day off card.
It's my take the day off.
Yeah.
Yes. It's like Christmas again, isn't it?
Yeah.
Take the day off. It's lovely.
Yeah, so he's taken that very literally, even though all he wanted to do was blow his nose. So he's going to take the day off after this.
Yeah, so there'll be the end of a cricket and such things, that'd be nice.
Yeah.
And there's a dog.
Yeah, there's a dog.
Yeah.
Am I allowed a piece of chocolate yet?
No. It's all for cooking purposes.
It's all for cooking, and then later on you can have the chocolate. So, so hopefully you can hear us. Oh, someone's going to dance, so that's quite good.
Oh, that's lovely.
Yeah, Lynn's going to dance. Now, you need to be careful, Mrs. Other.
Yes, we've heard about your dancing before.
It hasn't always led to, to a wholeness, has it? But, you know.
Yeah. On the table, then.
Yeah, do your best.
Yeah,
it's
so
a bit early.
Are we approaching the time? No,
I think it's still a bit early. We've logged on a bit early.
It's a bit much, isn't it?
But, do you want to tell us about your week, Pete? What have you been doing?
I've been very busy.
Okay. Anything else?
I've had a very dull week, really. Just bit of marking, bit of writing, bit of top secret stuff I'm not allowed to talk about.
Okay, so Pete's doing top secret stuff, which seems really unlikely, but he's obviously bigging his part up. Caleb, what have you been doing this week?
I've been doing a lot of university work.
Yeah, do you want to say any more?
Well, that's it really. It's all a bit dull, isn't it?
It is a bit dull. Yeah. I want to give a shout out to lovely Alan from Edstone Church, who, in trying to deliver Edstone Church's sort of newsletter, has managed to damage his car in a pothole and then reverse into a ditch and needed towing out. So we just want to say hello to Alan. His good deeds have cost him a lot. But the good news is we've had good response from the newsletter, and we've got at least one family wanting a baptism. So that's something exciting to look forward to. Come spring, isn't it?
It's 10 o'clock now.
It's 10 o'clock.
We can stop with all this church.
It's like 2 cars per baptism.
Yeah, it's 2 cars per baptism. So I think he's going to just take the weekend lying still.
It's quite an expensive way to
not going out again. But we'll say hello to him. And so Pete.
Maybe you should do what Philip does instead and run next to the carriage of the eunuch.
Yeah, we'll suggest he gets some training and just runs to deliver. Pete, have you got the recipe for us with Rudy's recipes? No, Rudy's asleep, so we're not going to wake him up. He obviously won't stay asleep forever, so you can see him later. But
I feel like Rudy's recipe doesn't work without Rudy.
Well, it doesn't matter. You just carry on. Do you want to get him?
No, I'm just thinking of.
I could pick him up.
No, let's just leave him.
Do you want to hold one of
Boys and girls, he's still alive.
Yeah, we haven't done anything to him.
Do you want to hold one of his bones in homage?
Yeah.
One of his chocolate.
Like, you're picking up your part. Let's just do the.
Okay, today everybody, it's the Mars bar cake. Auntie Gail's recipe. We're very excited. For this, you'll need 1.5. Okay, so I misread this letter. So it's a block of chocolate.
Yeah.
Which is 1.5 large.
So you need 2 blocks of chocolate, and we're going to use 1.5 of it.
We're going to use Cadbury Dairy Milk.
But apparently, somebody tried to make this in the week, and they said that Aldi do a very good single bar of chocolate, which covered the whole thing. So
yes,
you may not need
it's too late to run out.
It's too late, yeah.
Yes, but this is Brexit Britain.
Yeah, carry on. Keep going.
You'll need 1 tablespoon of golden syrup.
Yeah, which we'll measure out in a minute.
And you'll need 3 ounces of butter or marge.
Yep. So we've done butter because we had some left over in the fridge that didn't look very exciting.
And then you'll need 4 ounces of Rice Krispies.
Yeah. Now that's actually quite a lot of Rice Krispies. We were warned about this, that it's they're very light, aren't they?
Then you'll need some sort of pan with 3.
No, and then you need 4 Mars bars. So you missed out the Mars bars.
Oh.
Yeah, 4 Mars. Honestly, Rudy's recipes, he's going to get sacked really. So it's from the multi-pack of Mars bars.
Yes.
Because Mars bars come in strange sizes, and these, to be honest, seem quite small. So it's a multi-pack 4 Mars bars cut up into bits.
Yes.
Have you?
I'd better with a piece of paper if truth be told. I've been texted this thing, and the writing's too small for me. So apologies for being old, and I feel like the Disability Act hasn't really kicked in our house really, because I wasn't given much help with that.
Okay, so
we don't do Disability Act.
no. So anyway, that's you done.
That's the Equality Act now, isn't it?
Yeah, equality.
I'm out of date with.
You're out of date.
Well,
with your
hurry up.
He's out of date with his legislation, so that doesn't really help either.
But do buy my latest book,
Yeah.
which is up to date with his legislation.
So, and then we have lined with silver foil a Swiss roll tin, and I've put a barrier in the middle so that we can judge how much of the tin we're going to fill. But we also thought it would be possible to put the mixture into little cake cases.
We've had trouble with that, haven't we?
We have had trouble with that because they kept flying away and the dog kept eating the paper cases. But that's what we thought we'd do. So I think we've probably finished
Yes.
with you,
Do
Pete.
you want to get off your emails and go back to doing the recipe?
Yeah.
Right, I might see you later.
And we've also got
Yeah, a saucepan and some wooden spoons. So, shall we let you go, Pete, and then we'll get cooking?
Should I go out the back way?
Yes.
I'll just go and sit in the
Yeah, off you go.
in the garden.
room for an hour.
Yes, I've locked all the other doors in the house.
Yeah. So
Are we going to get started then?
we're gonna get started. So first of all, we're going to put the Mars bars, the butter or margarine into the saucepan, along with a tablespoon of golden syrup. This is a new one, so
We've already washed our hands, by the way.
yeah, we have washed our hands.
Before we came aboard.
So we're going to move those out of the way, and then a tablespoon, so that's a nice large spoon of golden syrup. Quite handy, isn't it, when you can get them in these squeezy bottles rather than a tin
Yes.
like you used to.
I'm not really with tins, that's my issue.
No, it's not that sort of tin, is it? It's a tin with a lid, not a...
Oh, is it? Okay, well.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll take this over. So we're going to heat this then?
So we're going to melt that in the pan
Okay,
quite
so
carefully.
if you're a small person, you might need a big person to get up to the hob. So we're going to show ourselves to be very good at technology and move ourselves slightly, aren't we?
Yeah, so Caleb's going to move the camera so you can see him at the hob. And now we've got a very large saucepan. Have you turned it on? Yes. I'll start check. We've got a very large saucepan because there are a lot of Rice Krispies, and we decided it's going to be better to pour the Rice Krispies into the saucepan rather than pour the chocolate mixture into the Rice Krispies, if that makes sense. So what do you think about that, Caleb, as well?
I agree with that.
Yeah. So how's the melting going?
It's taken a while. Our hob is it's quite good, but it takes a while to get up and going, and it's too hot, I find.
Yeah, it's too hot. So we're still, although obviously we moved here in August, we're still getting used to our hob and still struggling at times with not burning things. So that's our good excuse anyway, isn't it?
Yeah, so you're getting it's slowly melting. I'll give you a quick show and go.
Yeah.
So we got a bit of butter and Mars bar going nicely there, but it'll take a little bit of time. Maybe if you cut it a bit smaller, it might melt quicker.
It might do, but you know,
But,
I didn't.
You can't get the help, can you? So next stage will be after we've done this little bit.
To put the Rice Krispies in.
So we put the Rice Krispies in. It's quite exciting, isn't it?
It is.
So I suppose then, what are we aiming for? We're aiming for the Rice Krispies to be fully coated, or
We're aiming for the Rice Krispies to be fully coated in the mixture. So apparently the advice is to put the Rice Krispies in bit by bit.
Okay.
So that you can coat them carefully rather than get slightly overwhelmed and end up crushing them. So that will work out quite well. And then our story today is about somebody very young who heard God calling them.
Yeah, shall I turn it back around here so you can talk about what we're going to be doing?
Okay, so you do want to keep melting. So on Sunday, perhaps you probably went a bit too far there. Can you go back a tiny bit? On Sunday we thought about Simeon and Anna and when Jesus was presented in the temple. So on Sunday we thought about two older people meeting Jesus and having that revelation that he was the Messiah. And today we thought we'd think about somebody who was younger who heard God's call. And the reason for this is that this week is Children's Mental Health Week. So I know a lot of schools have been doing different activities to support young people with their mental health. I'm not sure that Auntie Gail's Mars bar cake is going to help your mental health in the long run, but obviously cooking and baking and doing activities is always very good for a change of scene, isn't it?
Yes, yeah, also a form of exercise or such and such.
Yeah, so Caleb quite likes exercise. You're going to tell us what exercise you've been doing recently, Caleb?
Well, I've been doing quite a bit of running recently around the lanes locally.
Yeah.
You know, going out, meeting new dogs.
Yeah, meeting. So Caleb started running, which to be honest is a scary sight. He hasn't done any running for a little while. So it's probably less scary than it was 2 or 3 weeks ago when he started.
Yes, I probably, people are giving me apprehensive looks as if I've committed a crime somewhere, which is...
yeah, but now less
which is lovely. Really.
Yeah, so now he looks a bit less scary running. So yeah, and the other thing we want to talk to you about is that we're going to do a bit of fundraising, aren't we, Caleb?
I believe someone is, yes.
Yes. So usually for Lent, we give up... Do you want to come and show the screen how far you're getting with your melting?
Getting there. Can't really see that.
Can't really see. Never mind. Don't spill it on the floor.
Oh, no.
Usually for Lent, we give up chocolate, alcohol, and television. But we're wondering whether this year, being in lockdown, that might be a bridge too far. So last year, obviously, Lent lockdown happened partway through Lent, so we'd struggled on through, didn't we? So this year, we thought rather than giving anything up, we would take up a challenge and do some fundraising.
Yes, our issue, yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
And we thought that we would support a charity that does a lot of work with children. So we're going to support the Children's Society. How's that looking?
I think it's done, Zee.
Okay, bring it over then. So we'll talk about our fundraising in a moment.
Not fully melted.
Oh, isn't it?
Give me a second.
Okay, give him a second. So what hasn't melted yet?
There's a few bits of Mars are just still a bit,
Yeah. When you melt a Mars bar, it's funny really because it doesn't really goes a bit lumpy, doesn't it?
I think it's done now.
Okay.
Turn off the ring.
Yeah, turn off the.
Remember to turn off your hob.
Turn off your hob and be careful if you end up with a hot hob. Don't touch it. So
we had a hot hob yesterday.
So we're going to pop this down here, and then bit by bit, we're going to slowly put in some Rice Krispies.
Well,
so that is a bit by bit. So don't crush your Krispies. That's the thing, isn't it?
You just want to keep it on the move, don't you?
Oh, do you want to keep it on the move? Is that your?
That's my idea, because I think otherwise you're going to get a little bit of burn, you're going to get a bit of crisp, you're going to get a bit of... Everything's going to get a bit sticky.
It's supposed to get a bit sticky though, isn't it?
Yeah, I know, but you don't want it to get premature.
No, okay.
No one wants a premature.
Well, what you don't want to do is crush your Krispies, do you? And you want an even spread of chocolate mixed with it. It smells really nice, doesn't it?
It does actually, yes. I'm a bit surprised.
Yeah, you're going to need to run this off. Okay, final amount. Oh, you see, now it is a bit tricky, isn't it? Getting those coated. There's some very pale looking Krispies here.
You just got to keep going. I if you're feeling a certain way, you could have added an extra Mars bar, I feel, maybe.
No, I don't think you can. That would kill you. And
so.
Also, you get a multi-pack of 4. So if you had an extra one, you'd end up having to buy 2 multi-packs.
Or you could get a bag of 16 fun sizes.
I don't think that would work.
I don't know. I don't think is a fun size Mars bar a quarter of a normal Mars bar? If it was, then there would be no point. But if it's slightly more, then it's probably worth it, isn't it?
No, it might be hard. It's hard to tell. It might be hard.
I was very tempted to go fun size instead.
Right, so should we put 1 or 2 into little cake cases just for fun, just to see how these work? So no, there we go. So we're just going to we're going to do a couple in cake cases just to see. So this now has to go into the fridge. So you can pour the rest into the...
How many cake cases are we doing?
I don't know, I think I'm going to do 3 little cake cases.
Why don't you do all of them?
No, because I think we'll do it as a cake. So I'm just going to do... Because these might be a bit bigger than So you want to put it in and give it a bit of a press down. Don't crush your Crispies. So I put it on here. That'll be easier. So we didn't have a small enough tin. You could really do with a sort of square baking tin. I'll put it down there. But we've only got long Swiss roll tins. So we're going to spread that out.
Again.
Well done. We're going to spread that out. Now you can melt all your ingredients in a microwave. But some people, we did a microwave recipe last time, and some people don't have a microwave. But I think if you're going to microwave and melt the ingredients in the microwave, it's going to take you about 1.5 minutes or 2 minutes. So after a minute, you'll need to check it and have a look and see what you think. So there we go. Where'd you gone? I've lost my help.
I went to blow my nose, but
Okay.
whoever was touching the tissues last hid them away. Only one person's getting the blame for that.
Okay, so there we go.
That looks quite nice actually.
It does look quite nice.
So we put these in the refrigerator, don't we?
So we're going to put this in the fridge.
Small fridge or big fridge?
Just this fridge
Small
here.
fridge,
I'll put them in.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
I'll
what
give
we're
you
going to...
that. So yeah, so there you go. So press down and into the fridge, and then we're going to do our activity, and then we're going to melt the chocolate to go on the top. And we will do that in the microwave just for ease.
Are we going to discuss what we're doing lengthwise now or later?
Should we do it now?
We can do it now, can't we?
Yes. So for Lent, we have decided to support the Children's Society, and this year the Children's Society are 140 years old. So we thought we would walk between Caleb and I, 140 miles. And then we thought, well, what would the destination be if we walked 140 miles? And then we thought we could do a virtual walk, you can see he's ready to show you the map, to the Children's Society headquarters in London, which is more than 140 miles. So hopefully this map has worked the other way around. So does it say on there how many miles it is?
Could you look on there?
I haven't got it.
It's going to go up here, isn't it?
Oh, okay. I can't see from here. Anyway, it's about 156 or something.
It said 144 the other day. It's obviously getting further away.
Yes. So do you want to point out where we are in Preece? At the top of the map. So we're here, and yeah, we're going to virtually walk. So we're not actually going to walk to London.
I think it's quicker to walk if you. I think it's 144 miles if you were to go as the crow flies. If you were able to cross land.
Oh, okay.
But this is going down motorways and such.
Yeah. Well, this is the Google route to walk, which reckons it would take 53 hours to walk.
That's a bit better, isn't it?
Yeah, that's a bit better. So 53 hours, I think, to walk to the headquarters of the Children's Society, which we're going to do to raise money for them. So we have, you can move the map because it's a bit dull looking like that, isn't it? We've set up a Just Giving page, and if you would like, you could walk some of those miles for us or with us. So let us know how you want to be involved. We'd obviously love you to do some fundraising with us. We would like to try and raise £1,400, which feels like quite a lot. But it
says 140 miles as well.
Yes, so it's 140 miles. So you could walk 2 or 3 miles. If we've got some little people watching, you could walk a few miles and then take some photographs and let us know how many miles you walked, and then we will track our progress. Or we could create a team and do it together and have a Just Giving page team. And we will be posting information, and we'd be really glad if you would join us on our walk and try to reach our target. Yeah. So you can't physically join us, but you can join us virtually.
Yes, you can't physically join now.
No, you can't physically join, which is a shame.
I suppose if you're local, you can do social distance walking. I suppose.
Yeah, you can do some social distance. You can walk behind or in front of us.
I don't know what the rules are anymore. I haven't really bothered with.
No, well, you just need to keep away from people, don't you?
That's
part
what
of the rules.
So should we do story now, or
yes? So I think we'll do story now.
Unless there's any questions.
Yes, I don't think.
There don't appear to be any.
Oh look, we've got some offers of help. We've got some offers of people who are going to walk with us to try and reach our target.
I don't think they're offering that. I think they're offering to cook the food.
Okay, so tell us about today's story.
Today's story is about Samuel's Hears a Voice. So if you want to find this in the big bad book, it's not the bad book, but the adult version of the Bible, which is the Bible. You'll find that. Where will you find that?
We'll find out where you'll find it. It'll be in.
It'll be in Kings, won't it?
Yeah.
It'll be in 1 King somewhere, but it's not said in the book where it is. But I was just people might want to find it, might they?
I think you'll find it's in the index.
Okay, we'll look at that afterwards. We'll read the story first, shall we?
Okay.
We don't want to mess up our tempo. So this story is entitled Samuel Hears a Voice. Now that God's people were living in their own land, there were so many things he wanted to tell them. How to be happy, how to take care of each other, how to protect themselves from their enemies. So God decided to choose someone to speak for him. Someone he could talk to, who would then go and talk to the people. Someone who he called a prophet. God looked and looked all over the land of Israel, eager to pick just the right person. And then finally he found him. In the village of Shiloh, in the house of Eli the priest, a little boy. Samuel, God called one night. Samuel, I want to talk with you. So Samuel sat up and he rubbed his sleepy eyes. We've all been there, haven't we?
Yeah,
Sitting
sleepy
up
eyes.
and rubbing his sleepy eyes. He'd never heard God's voice before and he thought that old Eli was calling him. Samuel stumbled into Eli's room to see what he wanted, but Eli just shooed him back to bed. Samuel, God called again. Samuel, listen. Samuel was confused this time and a little scared, so he crept back into Eli's room. I told you, boy, yawned the old priest. I didn't call you. Now off to bed. Samuel didn't know what to think as he crawled under his covers, but when God called Samuel, Samuel, for the third time, he knew what to do. He dashed back to Eli just as fast as he could. Samuel, sighed Eli, if either of us is going to get any sleep tonight, we need to find out who is calling you. And I have an idea who it might be. So the next time you hear that voice, I don't want you to come running in here. Instead, I want you to say, Speak, Lord, and I will listen. Samuel's eyes opened wide. You mean it's God who's calling me? Do as I tell you, said Eli, and we will find out. So Samuel went back to bed. It's always a good part, isn't it, going back to bed? God called his name again, and this time Samuel stayed there and listened to God, and his eyes opened wide with wonder. And from that moment until Samuel was himself an old man, God talked to Samuel, giving him messages to pass on to the people. And just like the first time, God's messages never fail to leave him wide-eyed with wonder.
We've got pictures to show.
There are pictures.
Yeah.
There is Samuel asleep in his bed with a nice little pussycat. There is Samuel running. Though it's a bit confusing that he's running backwards, forwards.
But he was, wasn't he?
I suppose he was. Now there's Eli with his nice coiffured hair and trimmed beard, being a bit annoyed.
Yeah.
So I think the moral of this story is to stay in bed.
Yes, the moral is not to stay in bed. The moral of this story is to listen to God.
Oh, here we go. If I can find this.
Yeah, if you can find
Samuel,
it. It's probably in the book of Samuel,
it's
isn't it?
the book before, it's the passage
Rather
before.
than Kings.
Oh yes, the call of Samuel is in 1 Samuel chapter 3. I always got it wrong. But Samuel does appear in Kings, doesn't he, later on, doesn't he?
Well, yeah, maybe.
Maybe.
I think
Yeah,
it's more in
maybe,
the book
yeah.
of Samuel. It
Yeah,
gives it away,
there's
doesn't it?
2 Samuels, aren't there?
Yeah, 1 Samuel, 2 Samuel.
Anyway.
So yeah, so that's the story. So now we've got a bit stuck. I need to be a bit more creative. I did find some quite clever craft things where you could have a boy in bed and then he'd wake up and you pulled the paper, but I thought it was a bit difficult. So we're going for something a bit strange. We're going for crowns with ears on. Okay, which say listen on the front.
Which looks a little bit like last week's.
It does look a bit like last week's,
Or the week
but
before.
forgive me. Couldn't find anything that worked any better. And this was a craft idea. So yeah, so crowns with ears, listen. And then on the side you can see he's sleeping. Yeah, so I don't know how you're going to manage to do this. Drawing ears is really quite difficult. But anyway.
Yes.
So, should we measure your head?
This fits quite well, though.
I know, but you've got to make one yourself.
Oh, okay. I thought you could make another one.
Yes, I know you thought that, but so yes. So you want a strip of cardboard. So we're using a box from last night's chicken fajita mix, which was quite tasty, wasn't it?
Yes.
Okay, is that good enough? We need to take it off now. And you're going to...
Yes, for those of you who may have noticed, I've had a haircut in lockdown as well.
Yes, I'm giving Caleb a haircut, which didn't go as well as my first lockdown haircuts. But there we go.
Which is why I need the ear crown.
Yes, Caleb needs the ear crown, so people will notice that rather than anything else.
So what do we do next? Do we start?
So then we need to cut an ear shape. And I've got pink or white paper. Do you want pink ears or white
We'll
ears?
go pink it, shall we?
Okay. So
we're going to trace our ears, or?
So we're just going to, what do you mean trace your ear? No, you're just going to draw an ear shape and then we'll cut it out. Do you want a pen? Here's some pens. So we're going to draw an ear shape. Now, some of you can draw really well. I had a bit of trouble, you probably can't see this at all, drawing what the inside of an ear, how that works.
I'm going to do a green. Maybe.
Well, it doesn't matter, you're just drawing a shape. And then do you want, I've only got these colour pipe cleaners as well. I don't know about you, but I'm sure people who are paint schooling, and we're not obviously, must be really, really running out of craft materials and pens and paper. What's that?
It's an ear.
That's an ear.
What do you think it is?
I don't know.
It looks like my ear.
Yeah, Caleb's got the smallest ears in the history of the world.
Well, it looks just like your ear, but mine's better.
Yeah, you
I
got
suppose
tiny.
it looks like a pear, I suppose, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does look like a piece of fruit. So Caleb's got ears like a piece of fruit. Shall I round that off at the bottom?
Yeah, I should have.
Sorry, I'm only cutting these for Caleb because he's left-handed scissors are in Leicester. So do you want to draw the little inside ear bits? Do you want green pipe cleaners to hold your ears together?
Yes. Oh, I went to the inside of this, but I'll do it again.
No, for this ear. You've got two ears, haven't you?
Oh, yes.
One ear goes one way, one ear goes the other way.
Mm.
So we've got ears. And then...
I've given this ear a little earring.
Oh, have you?
A little stud.
Okay, so... That's very exciting.
Yeah, but I
isn't it?
thought, we might as well jazz it up a little bit, because
Yes.
I fear it's going to be over soon enough.
Okay, so then we're going to sellotape the ear onto the pipe cleaner. So as I say, next time we're going to think of a better, well, not a better, a different craft activity that doesn't involve crown. Are you going to draw any patterns on your crown?
I could do, yeah. So I'm going to draw...
It would be better to draw on your crown before you, staple it or tape it together.
I'm going to do a fish.
Maybe a fish one.
I can draw a fish.
Okay, so you can always draw something that relates to Samuel in the temple, or you could just
He's
decorate
not in the
it.
temple, he's in bed, isn't he?
Okay, Samuel in bed,
I
but
might draw-
he's in bed in the temple because that's where he lives, isn't
Okay.
it?
Well, I don't know, he lives in the temple. It doesn't say that in the book, does it?
No. So there we go. So now while we're doing this, I'm going to melt the chocolate. Now I'm going to melt this in the microwave just for ease. So I'm going to give this a minute and see what happens. So how are you doing, Caleb? What are you drawing now?
I'm going to try and do a bed. I did some... But it looks a little like I'm doing
Yeah.
the Mask of Zorro.
Yes, it's a bit strange, but never mind.
I suppose our younger listeners won't know the Mask of Zorro, will they?
No. So anyway, so I'm going to put mine on with my ears. So I've got big listening ears. And the good thing about doing it with pipe cleaners is you can adjust your ears to different ways of being. Are you going to put yours on as well?
Yeah, hold on.
Okay, I think... yeah.
Just need to do a duvet.
Okay, so Caleb's doing a duvet and a bit of sleep. I think you need to hurry up a little bit because people will be needing to get on with the rest of their day soon. What's that?
Yeah, it's Samuel, he's got a little duvet.
Oh, okay.
He's
Samuel-
kicked his duvet off because he's ready to get up. Got a duvet and a blanket, obviously.
He's got a duvet and a
Can't be
blanket.
messing around.
No, Caleb likes a duvet and a blanket. What's that now?
Oh, hold on, just gotta wait. You gotta wait. You can't be making this kind of.
Do you want me to tell you the problem you've got? Or would you like me to tell you why the problem that you've got here? That your ears, you've done it as if your ears are up the wrong way up.
Oh no.
Okay, so explain to everyone the slightly visual error that you've got there.
I've done it the wrong way around. I've done it upside down. But so my zzz looks like twos, and my sandal is upside down, and my bed is upside down.
Yeah, so remember which way your ears are going to go.
But it's not the end of the world. I mean, my ears look pretty good actually. It's a bit like when you're flying an aeroplane, you have the headset on, don't you?
Yeah, it's a bit like that. So, just before we sing our song...
Yours is quite a bit better than mine.
Before we sing our song, we're going to put the melted chocolate, so that's melted in a minute in the microwave. if you're going to melt that on the hob, you need to put it in a bowl over a pan of water and melt it that way. So do you want to put some on these thing here? Do you want a spoon? Right, so I'm going to get a spoon because we need to move quite quickly because the chocolate will
solidify.
Yes, it will solidify.
And then do we put it in the oven or anything, or just let it?
No, we're not putting it in the oven, we're just putting it back in the fridge. If you put it in the oven, that's gone wrong.
Oh yeah, sorry. Most things involve the oven, don't they?
Yeah, most things involve the oven. So do you want to scrape that over there? So we're going to spread the chocolate here.
Oh, it's definitely solidified. That's quite good, isn't it? I mean, the Rice Krispies, not the chocolate yet.
Yes. Yes, the Rice Krispies have gone hard already. And I'll spread this around a bit.
And what's quite nice about this is if you end up covering it early doors, you can just have a bit of melted chocolate to eat.
Yes, you could have a bit of melted chocolate.
I've already got my arm on a bit of. Ooh.
Yeah, you see, there's going to be a lot of bowl licking going on after this, I have to say. I can imagine.
Oh, you don't have to imagine soon as we're off air.
Careful, it's dripping everywhere. Okay, so, careful, you're getting chocolate everywhere and everywhere. So, obviously you need to be a bit careful you don't get chocolate everywhere. So this is going to go back into the fridge.
I'm just going to check the chocolate's alright.
Okay, and this is going to go back into the fridge, and then when it has cooled down again, we will cut it up into small pieces. So we will do that in a minute. But in the meantime, Kelly, we've got a song.
Yes, I managed to get pen and chocolate over my hands.
Yes.
So you can have a chocolate covered version.
Oh, thank you. So we've done a song, and again, having got a bit trapped in last week's trap of thinking, I couldn't get away from the tune of What Should We Do with the Drunken Sailor. And also everybody's loving sea shanties, aren't they? And, oh, okay, Nicola and Layla are having trouble, I think, a little bit with their...
Well, Rice Krispies are very tasty.
Yeah, they are very tasty. But anyway,
What's Snap, Crackle and Pop, isn't it? Yes.
Yeah, Snap, Crackle, Pop.
I think ours are less tasty because they were knockoff Rice Krispies, weren't they?
Oh, you think it's not Snap, Crackle and Pop?
It's not a Snap, Crackle and Pop, it's more...
Anyway, we're going to do our song.
Okay.
So, this is our song to What Should We Do with the Drunken Sailor.
Yes.
Again,
are you,
but different words.
Are you going to lead?
No, you can start.
Oh, you can start.
Okay. Never too young to hear God calling, never too young to hear God calling, never too young to hear God calling, asking Him to serve Him. Listen out your name called, listen out to hear your name called, listen out to hear your name called, like the young boy Samuel. Never too young to hear God calling, never too young to hear God calling, never too young to hear God calling, asking Him to serve you. The sleeping boy heard Samuel, wake up, the sleeping boy heard Samuel, wake up, the sleeping boy heard Samuel, wake up. He thought it was Eli. Never too young to hear God calling, never too young to hear God calling, never too young to hear God calling, asking you to serve Him. Eli knew the boy heard the Lord, Eli knew the boy heard the Lord, Eli knew the boy heard the Lord calling out to Samuel. Never too young to hear God calling, never too young to hear God calling, never too young to hear God calling, asking you to serve Him. Speak, Lord, your servants listening, speak, Lord, your servants listening, speak, Lord, your servants listening, that's how Samuel answered. Never too young to hear God calling, never too young to hear God calling, never too young to hear God calling, asking you to serve Him. Well, someone's woken up.
Yes, singing.
And done their favourite thing, which is getting onto Caleb's shoulder, which clearly isn't going to be a good thing as they get bigger and bigger and bigger. But at least he didn't attack your ears.
No, real or fake.
Real or fake. So I don't know if Pete's going to return. It seems probably unlikely. But we are looking to you to provide us next time with a savoury gluten-free recipe. So we will be back at 11 o'clock on the 19th of February to do a savoury gluten-free recipe, which will be very exciting if you can send us one. And we also will be posting quite a lot about our fundraiser for the Children's Society and asking you to get involved. So shall I pull the Crispies out of the fridge and see?
Really?
I don't think these will have really hardened off that well, but we'll pull these little ones out. And do you want to eat one and see what we think?
They look nice, don't they?
They do look nice.
They do hardening off a little bit.
They do, but
I think that's for me.
yeah. So the chocolate on this is a bit runny, so this is going to need to be in the fridge for a little bit longer. Okay, you can't speak at all now because, okay, if you've got any manners, you don't put the whole thing in. And we are going to cut these up into really small little squares, aren't we? Yeah, no, we are, because they are very rich and very, very sweet, and obviously it's quite bad for you. So we're going to cut them up into small squares.
Very tasty, though.
But they're very tasty. So I don't know if Pete's back. Pete's creeping back in, just to come and say goodbye.
As you can tell by the wagging of the tail of someone.
Yeah, someone's...
It's not my tail, by the way.
Someone's coming in. Do you want to take him from Caleb?
Actually, I got it.
Or do you want to take a crispy cake?
Oh, I'll have it in a minute. No,
Okay.
they might be slightly messy.
Yeah, they're a little bit messy. Anyway, it's lovely to see you, and we will see you in 2 weeks' time. Do take care, and yeah, nice to see you.
Yes, goodbye.
Goodbye.
Goodbye.